Alright guys, welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 video, and today we are going to be talking about casting. Casting is a way to have blueprints communicate through each other, and essentially a way to create pointers and references between various different game actors and objects that exist inside of your level, scene, or entire game. So let's go ahead and look at some examples of this. This is extremely useful, especially when you combine it with blueprint interfaces, which I will definitely make a video about, but go look up blueprint interfaces after this video if you don't know what those are, because those are also very useful. Alright, so to demonstrate the idea of casting, I'm going to go ahead and create a very simple actor here, a kill block. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my content drawer. I'm using the third-person game template, if you couldn't tell. And essentially, I'm going to go to the Blueprints folder here, which is going to be under All, Content, Third Person, Blueprints. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and right-click now and create New Blueprint Class. Now, we're not going to worry about all of this. We're just going to go ahead and click on Actor. This is just anything that can be placed in your scene. Essentially, it's a game object that has a transform. And I'm going to name it Kill Block. Due to my Roblox days, I like to name anything that destroys you a kill block. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do my normal layout here, which is the visual nodes here, details panel here, and my component / blueprint stuff here. Now I'm going to go ahead and toggle here to the view mode. If you need to pull up any of these windows, you just click Windows and click on the following things here to pull up whatever you need through there. Okay? Alright, so since this is a kill block, I should probably make a block. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and click this and do a cube. There's my cube, and I'm going to have that replace the default scene component. Cool. Next, I should probably make my cube red. At least I like to think so. So I'm going to go ahead and come here. And here's the material instance I made earlier today. I'm actually just going to show you guys how to do this again. You're just going to come here, right click, create material instance, red kill block. And then normally when you create a material instance, you want to prefix it with mi underscore to specify that it's a material instance. Boom, boom. Okay. Now, if you notice in here, in the basic material, this was made into a parameter already, so we don't need to do that, just in case you are from the good old creating material stuff. So as you can see here, I can go ahead and check mark here and make this a nice red kill block. Very red. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and save, and there is my red kill block. Alright, coming out of the engine content, let's go back into our blueprint. Here's our kill block. Now I can come here on the cube, click the cube, and change the material to that red kill block material. And there it is. Boom, boom. There is my nice red kill block. Now, let's go ahead and look at the event graph. And you'll notice there's an event that we haven't seen here yet, and that's event actor begin overlap. Essentially, whenever you overlap a collision box, which we'll look at in a second, Unreal will automatically trigger this event. This event happens whenever a collision box is overlapped. So let's go ahead and figure out how to add a collision box, because we only have one component right now to our kill block class / actor / game object. So let's go ahead and add a collision box. So I'm going to go ahead and click the plus button, scroll down, and we're going to find box collision. Now, looks like here it is, right here. If you want to search, you can type in box, and it should pop up here as box collision. Okay, there's our box collider. Now, just like normal, I can go ahead and scale this out. Boom, and there we go. You can make this even smaller. Again, think of this kind of like a hitbox. And if you don't like the snapping, that's totally fine. You just click this to turn off snapping. All right, there we go. Well, that's fine for now. I'm going to go ahead and compile and save. And let's go ahead and head over to our event graph. So there's this philosophy when it comes to game development that's pretty much in every game engine that I've ever worked with. And that is the idea that whenever you touch a given actor or object, the game engine generally has a way to tell you what touched it. Right? Because you can't have a touch event unless something triggered the touch event. It's not possible, right? I can't touch this keyboard unless the keyboard exists, and the keyboard can't be touched unless the keyboard exists, right? So most game engines will pass what object triggered the touch event. Or in this case, the other actor here, the variable name other actor here, is what overlaps this box collision here. Okay, so I'm going to come here, and here is our first example of casting. I'm going to go ahead and cast to the third person character. Now, whenever you do a cast, you always need to tell Unreal what you're trying to cast, right? What specific instance. So like, let's say I had, for example, 10 of these blocks, right? Well, all these blocks are essentially duplicates of each other, but they're not the same thing. They're all different, right? So I can't just say cast to this blue block. I need to specify this blue block specifically, or this blue block specifically. Same thing here. When I do a cast, I need to specify what specific actor I am talking about. And in this case, it's whatever triggers the touch event. So whatever triggers the touch event is whatever I'm trying to cast to. And this cast, and this is one of the ways you can use a cast, is designed to check and see whether that thing that overlaps the collision box is a third person character. So if I drag this execution pin here, this will now check to see whatever triggers the touch event is a third person character. If it is, then great, we can go ahead and do game logic. If it isn't, then the cast fails. So if this is a third person character, I'm going to go ahead and do a destroy actor. What actor? The third person character. And this is our first example of a cast event. Here I am casting or doing something to the third person character based on events that happen in my kill block actor. Great example of casting and ways to have multiple blueprints communicate with each other. Okay, let's go ahead and run it, make sure it works. So let's go ahead and grab our nice little red kill block here, boom, and drag it up. Another nice thing about actors, by the way, is whenever you change something here, for example, I have enable gravity now off, it will work for every instance of the kill block in the scene. So nice little pro tip there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and click play, and as you see here, when I run up and touch the block, I am going to pass away, as you can see there. Now it looks like I forgot to delete my respawn system, so I'll go ahead and do that, my bad. But you should not have a respawn system set up yet. My mistake, I was just double checking some stuff before this video, making sure everything worked. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and see how we can use casting now to set up a respawn system, because now when I pass away, I don't come back. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and head into the third person character. To get to the third person character, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the content door. It's going to be content, third person, blueprint, and it's right here. Okay, here's the viewport, and then here's the event graph. So that's the third person character, and then you also have the third person game mode. Now the game mode isn't visual, so you don't really need the viewport because it's not a visual thing. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and see how I can create a respawn system. It's actually not as bad as you would think. First, you're going to create a custom event for respawning. Right? Now, custom events can be named whatever you want. So let's go ahead and name it respawn or custom event. Create, let's do event, add custom event, and here I can name it. I'm going to call it respawn, R-E-S-P-A-W-N, player. Cool. Okay, so now I have this nice little respawn player event that I can then call when I cast. And essentially what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, when this happens, I'm going to go ahead and get actor of class third person character. So this is going to allow me to get the third person character. Then I'm going to go ahead and spawn actor from class. Now I could also assign it here, or I could do this. Either way is fine. Now this is kind of like a typecast. It's going to take the actor class reference here and get the specific class instance, which is then going to be dragged right there. So nice little way to do this. All right, now I can go ahead and grab my respawn component, which is right here. Boom, do get, and I can drag this in to here. And this will essentially be the respawn position, which I've already set up here. This is a transform variable. To create a transform, you just click plus, go to variables, and it's right here. Transform is a three-dimensional matrix which describes where you are, where you're facing, and how big you are. Okay? Now, last thing we're going to look at here is the idea of a character and a controller. In order for the character to move around, it needs to have a controller that possesses it. So there's always going to be a controller and then a character. So after we spawn our character, we need to control it with a controller. So I'm going to go ahead and get the controller, specifically the player controller. Then I'm going to create a possess event. Boom. And then I'm going to specify what actor I want possessed, just like so. Then lastly, I'm going to hold D and click on the keyboard here to create a respawn delay time, which is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and set that to, let's say, 1 second. And there you have it, guys. So now all I need to do is go back to my third person character and specify when I want this respawn function to happen. Well, I want to happen when the player is destroyed. So I'm going to type in event destroyed. There it is. When this happens, I'm going to go ahead and get the game mode. This is the game mode that's controlling the game. And I'm going to cast to the third person game mode, which should be the game mode in use. I'm going to control this specific instance of the game mode. Boom. Drag this in. And I'm going to go ahead and do respawn player. And there you have it, guys. There is multiple different examples of casting. Let me go ahead and show you this in action now. I'm going to go ahead and click play. Boom, there's my block. It's then going to, when I touch this block, it's going to cast to my character and destroy it. So let's see that. Oh, forgot to compile, I think. So it's going to get the game mode, cast, and respawn the player. Then when respawn's called, it's going to wait a second. It's going to get my third person character here. It's going to go ahead and spawn that actor at the specific respawn transform. And then we should do a possession here. From a null class, just give me 30 seconds here, guys. Let's just do it this way instead. Boom. Boom. Cool. There you have it. Cool. Sorry about that little small blueprint mistake. I think the node was just going to the wrong place. Nothing big here. The node needed to go here. It was going here by mistake. So if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns on the blueprint nodes, please let me know, and I will see you all in the next one.